I've been getting really into marketing as of late, because I was just kind of tired of expecting every different webcomic service trying to market for me. So
Yeah,
I guess a lot of failures kind of led me into thinking I need to market myself. I can't let anybody else do it for me because if anybody want, I need to see myself succeed more than anybody else. So when I started learning more into marketing, it's it's a very weird beast that has a bunch of psychology into it. You got to
yeah,
learn about yeah, well, I guess psychology is like the biggest thing. Learning like audience behaviors, what people like, what they don't like, what sort of messages can you like put that'll make people more enticed or like perk their ears,
yeah,
and the way that you format some a presentation or a commercial or what have you, that shape like you only have like 2 or 3 seconds to like get somebody to be
yeah.
interested.
Grip them.
And now with this social media and like you have like people like you and me competing for attention with like the with
Yeah,
CNN and like all these like Disney and the seven major corporations, or like five or six. I can't keep it count. Like
yeah.
Viacom, Disney, uh, some there are more. Paramount.
I-
No, that's Viacom, right? Yeah, that's Viacom. Never mind. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
See,
mean, you'll know more about them myself because I think there'll be
yeah,
different corporations where I'm based, but
but
sorry, different
yeah.
corporations that are leading where I'm based. Um, yeah, I was just saying with marketing, I feel like it's constantly evolving as well. Like
Hmm.
there's you've got to be at the bleeding edge of what is going to be popular, what's going to grip people, and I feel like you've got to be there first because you like remember when people were doing flash mobs or whatever they were called, and like you had a couple of them happen, and then everyone started doing them to the point
Hmm.
that just lost its impact.
Oh yeah.
But for me with marketing my comic, I'm absolutely awful at it. Like, I have
That's why we're
like my
here. That's why we're here.
yeah, my chapters come out every week. Sorry, chapters. The new pages come out every Wednesday, and I didn't share anything last week. I missed it on Wednesday because I forgot about it, and then I'm like, I'll do it on Thursday. I'll do it on Friday, and then I've just completely forget. Um, it's hard to do it, and I'm kind of like of the mentality now, which probably not great. Of just like, oh, people want to read it, they'll read it. um, and going
Hmm.
again back to what we were saying earlier, I feel like where you share your comic, like so if you put it on X or Twitter or whatever, or if you put it on forums, I
Hmm.
find that there's a lot of competition there, and I feel like the people that tend to look at those places aren't necessarily going in to look for a comic to read. They're more going in to promote their own comic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think
So
that's my
like,
biggest problem with like putting your
mm,
comic on X, honestly.
yeah, yeah,
Or people are doing it wrong, like very, very wrong.
yeah,
Cause I when I see people say, "Oh man, here's a part of my comic," they just post like a page or like a little
mm,
video of their comic and says, "Hey, you can read the rest of it on this other website." I'm gonna be like, I don't want to leave X to go to your comic
mm,
to like read probably a page or two. I'm just gonna dip and go back to X because it breaks the experience on that app, and
yeah. I
it's so
think
weird.
I'd not thought of that because I do that because like my comics hosted elsewhere, so I
Hmm.
will just go when I do post like, oh, here it is, here's the new pages. Um, I suppose you're going to get more engagement going. Here's the page in full that you can read here. The the difficulty I have with that though is if it's how do you then tie all those pages together in a cohesive way. So, like if someone wants to go back to the start, that they can view them all. Like I think on X, it'd be difficult for me to do that.
I feel like maybe X is not the place to go to because they don't
Mm,
have a proper way. If they had a proper way to group your media, then
yeah,
I would abuse that, you man. Like I would have like, here's my series one, two, three. Here's my personal stuff. Here's like my
Yeah.
here's just stuff that I find funny, but they just don't have it. It's just one continuous line that's just jumbled up. And I know people have like make separate Twitter or X accounts that's just their comic, and that's
All right.
cool. That's cool. Maybe. Oh,
Good
hey,
idea.
I didn't even think about that. You could do that, but no buts. You could do that. I'm not gonna say buts because I don't want to put a limit to how people can
Yeah.
market
Well,
their stuff.
like something I keep getting told to do is to uh, put my comic on more like web comic. What would you call them? Not
Webcomic hosting
providers.
sites.
Yeah, hosting sites. To get it out there, to get it on more sites, and I don't know. So for me, like uploading them and doing all the admin side of it, I find it quite tedious. So I'm like, I just want to draw it when it's done right, upload,
Yeah.
gone, and then I'm on like I want to do the drawing side of it, the storytelling side of it, and I know I do need to invest a bit of time in like using other hosting sites and not just the one that I do.
I would ask you a question. How would you know that if you've been posting your comic on this on a webcomic hosting site, how long would it take for you to realize that maybe your audience isn't there?
Um, I don't know actually, because it's
A
difficult. You've
lot
not got like
a lot of people don't
control.
take that into account.
It's like how do you know? Because like I sort of go on. I'm like, oh, I'm doing all right, but you're sort of basing it off like previous chapters or previous pages, aren't
Yeah.
you? It's hard to compare it to other comics because you don't get that data, do you? You can see how many people have subscribed
That's
to
what I hate
other
about
comics.
that's what I hate about webtoons. Like they don't tell you anything. Like
Yeah,
Global Comics they tell you, Tap has they tell you, but they don't even I don't even know if they have like a fraction of like how many people are on webtoons. And then the people on webtoons, they only go to the people that webtoons pay them. So they're going to
yeah,
of course they're going to promote their own stuff first and then they'll probably and like then like the people who don't want to see the main stuff they probably want to go to like their Canvas feature. Maybe if you post frequently like they'll see you, but that's like over a period of months. And what they really want you to do is just share their website. They want to use you to share their websites to other
yeah,
websites that you go to, like Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and you're just that middleman. Like you're like the only person that's really benefiting is them. Is like Facebook and
yeah.
Webtoon or Facebook or whatever social media and Webtoons, because
Yeah,
like
I find
who knows if you're the people you gather on Webtoons, you can even monetize off of them, you know?
yeah, like I use Comic Fury at the
Oh,
moment.
Comic Fury, yes.
Yeah, and like no, there are other hosting sites out there, but I like Comic Fury because you can sort of see the engagement more. You get people going, you can they ask you questions, and like I find that that's a bit more limited on some of the other sites I've tried, and definitely on things like Facebook where you sort of it controls what is shown to the users. Um, Either that or I'm nowhere near as funny with some of my status updates as I think I am. But like you think, oh, this is brilliant, and then you get like 0 likes. I'm like, people just not seeing this, or am I just not funny?
Or
So
maybe you're the audience isn't there, and that's why I ask.
yeah, I mean that's it. Like I said, my biggest fan is my mum,
Ah,
and
that's amazing.
yeah, she'll share it every week. If I share it, she'll share it. She's like, come and look at this. She's not read a single page, but she'll share it every week. I've asked her about it, like, are you ever going to read it? She's like, no, it's not for me.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta find out.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta spread your wings.
It's
Like,
I think
yeah,
that's it, yeah, because you were looking at like very specific audiences, and it's like, how do you find them? And then when you do find them, how do you convince them that they're time is
Exactly.
worthwhile spent reading what you're creating. It's difficult.
Yeah, so like trying to get seen on a single platform is like
Yeah.
punching a brick wall trying to like break it, and you don't know if what's gonna be on the other side. So I say like try to find creative ways to go where the people are. Maybe the
Yeah.
people aren't on Comic Fury. Maybe they're on different websites, like not even on like webcomic hosting websites. Maybe and literally any website that allows you to post photos,
Mm.
and if you can be creative of compiling those photos in like a group or an album, like that is a that's a hosting site. And
Yeah.
if that hosting site can allow you to monetize off of the people, off of the traffic, like a way easier than Comic Fury, then that's a win for you. And plus, since you're like an independent creator, it's like you can the bar is the bar of like monetization can be is like lower since you're not really paying like an artist or a letterer or
Yeah.
a marketer. It's all just you, and all the tools are available for you to find and are available to find and use, and is and like the main thing is just seeing is like taking a step back and realizing how can I make this work? Like what? Well, first, what's my goal, and how can I make it work?
Yeah, I think I do. I need to get around to doing that. I've been saying that for a while. I just, I, I know I need to do it. I just don't find it fun. So
Absolutely. That's
I need to knuckle down with it because I'm like at the moment. If you go, whoa, do you want to post this on Twitter or do you want to, do you want to try and, I don't know, sell your comic and
yeah.
engage people, or do you want to just draw the next thing? I'll draw the next thing. So I think like you said, why do you draw? I think the drawing process for me is very, I don't know. I don't want to say engaging again, but like you get into the zone when you're drawing and like you can switch off and just be focused on that one thing for a couple of hours. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think my mind is now attuned to finding that time. Uh, you know, once a day, every other day, or how often it can get it to sort of de-stress a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.